The purpose of this video is to demonstrate the typical life cycle of an immigration type case. This solution has been modeled using the Collaborator software system. This example has been defined in such a way that a client can log into the client portal. The assignee can log into the assignee portal, and the service provider into the service provider portion of the application. Not all clients deploy the solution as this way. Some may communicate to the client and the assignee using email. Some cases are registered by customers and they make mistakes when selecting the relevant business service. Therefore, it makes sense that the service requested by the client has to be checked for correctness. In this solution, the primary resource assigned receives a task to review the case. The purpose of this task is to review the options that the requester has selected and to determine if it is acceptable and correct. Once the primary resource accepts the case, the stage will be changed to reviewed.
In some instances, the EACD procedures that needs to be followed and the effort invoked to complete that service are not known. The need then exists for someone to determine the effort by preparing a quotation for the work. In the instance where a case requires the work to be assessed, the primary resource will prepare a quotation that describes the effort and cost involved to perform the required services. Once the quotation is prepared, the stage will change to assessed. In most instances where a case included the assessment task that resulted in a quotation, the quotation must be adjudicated by the authorizer. The authorizer reviews the quotation and decide if the service request must continue or not. Once the authorizer has accepted or rejected the quotation associated with the case, the stage is changed to adjudicated. Note that in most cases, the services are defined in such a way that a fixed cost can be assigned to the service. In those cases, the assessment task nor this adjudication task are required.
In some cases, the authorizer rejects the service request. This could happen when the requester underestimated the effort involved to deliver the service. Therefore, the cost to deliver the service exceeded the benefit that can be obtained. In this case, the requester receives a task informing him or her that the authorizer has rejected the service request.
The case structure consists of case tasks and case steps. Case steps are work that must be performed by the user assigned to that step. Each case step has a scheduled start and end date. For each case task, the start and end date is calculated. These dates are automatically calculated based on the information supplied when the operating procedures were defined. Therefore, each case, the case tasks and the case steps becomes a project with a defined start and end date. These dates are continuously updated every time a feedback is done for a case step. The solution starts the calculation of the date starting today's date. It may be required to reschedule the start date of the case. In most instances, this task is not required. It all depends on the complexity of the service in the business service catalog.
As soon as all the case steps have been assigned to the applicable resources, the stage of the case will change to fulfill. This is actually the first time that work has been assigned to the resources involved to deliver the service to the customer.
If the finalize indicator has been selected, the solution will issue a workflow task to user TAHT has requested the service to acknowledge that the service has been delivered. The task is normally applicable when the duration of a case is long. In most cases, the communication to the various stakeholders are incorporated as a case step. That makes this task not necessary.